Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to mix things up and we're going to start in the studio, sometimes where I end my videos. Anyways, I have a couple projects, a personal one and a school one that I thought I would show you guys because they're both actually car and specifically Subaru related. So we'll go through those and then we're going to end up actually just fixing up the front splitter on Project Daily. I'm going to start to shape it because there's a little bit of things here and there that I don't like. So we're just going to end up smoothing that out. And then, probably not today, but soon we'll be mounting that on Project Daily. So first of all, the one you guys have already seen is me working on pretty much a tracing of Project Daily in a program called Illustrator. It's used to like pretty much do digital drawings. And there we go, we are almost done it. I just have a little bit of shading to do on the exhaust and then fixing some stuff up and we are all done. So this was the picture that we used as a reference and then I went over it, traced it as I was saying, and now I'm doing what I call a shading and just making it so it looks like it's actually not just one flat color. There's only a couple of details here and there I gotta do. I gotta shade up the brakes, I got to fix the exhaust and then fix some of the dark lines, and that is about it. So you guys will probably be seeing that on both my Instagrams pretty soon. So that's a personal project that has nothing to do with any of my courses, even though some of my courses have helped with that. Anyways, the thing I have to do for school is there's a course called typography and it's working with essentially fonts or typefaces, however you guys like to call it. Anyways, I've been tasked with designing pretty much a typeface for a Subaru event that doesn't exist, but just to encapture their principles and beliefs. And anyways, I've only done the first couple little drafts here and there. I've come up with something that's kind of cool, and since it is Subaru related, I try to mix my design with Subaru. So I thought I would show you guys, just guys get a little bit of a sneak peek into what I do other than specifically cars. So here's the first sketches. I actually went through and there's a whole design process. If you guys are in the graphic design or any of the design fields, you know exactly there's a lot of just brainstorming and doing sketches and stuff until you find something you like, and then you go into actually sketching a first prototype, and I also did it in all caps. Don't ask me why the word is hand gloves. That is just the word we're given because it gives you a lot of the different elements that are in type. So you got things like descenders and ascenders and all that fun stuff. I won't get too much into it, but there you go. So I'll show you guys probably the inked version. It'll probably be in a later video, but what I have to end up doing is putting this on nice marker paper and putting it in black ink so it looks very professional, and I'll show you guys how that looks. So take a look because it's probably not going to look the exact same next time you see it. That is going to be it for here in the studio. So let's jump into the garage. And there we go, we're in the garage. So as you guys can probably see, I've got Project Daily lifted up. I just did that one night after classes, and then I just started fixing up the lip. So the lip, all I did was take a file and just smoothen out some of these edges so that they're a little bit better. Now we're gonna do the exact same to the splitter itself actually. We're gonna take the file and just smoothen out some of the edges. It's really hard for you guys to see on camera, but some of the edges aren't like perfectly curved, so I'm just gonna take a file and file it down a little bit. Also, let me know what you guys think, because I left the grill out actually for a while, and I'm really kinda starting to like it without this grill right here. It just looks like more clean, minimalistic, and it looks a little bit more aggressive. Also, since I never drive this in the rain anymore, I think I'm gonna leave the wipers off for at least right now, because even with the wax on the windshield, the rain beads off and there's actually no worries. I can see perfectly fine, as you guys saw in the Cruise for Cancer when me and Adrian were driving in the rain. We didn't even have to turn on the wipers. So the wipers, if they stay off, they just make it look a little bit cleaner and a little bit more minimalistic. I will take off the nuts there, but look at, it's just a little bit smoother. Anyways, enough of that. Now it's time to fix up the splitter. And there we go, we finally have it all rounded off. If we take a look, it's still not perfect, but I don't really care enough because I know it's going to get damaged pretty easily. Just it's a little bit low, and these things, front splitters, usually end up being damaged just because they're so close to the ground, and if you hit a bump or something, or even rocks will chip them. So I'm not too picky, but I did smoothen it right out. It actually looks really good from up here. It looks way better than it did before. I just wanted it to smoothen it out a bit, and all I did was just take the file and run it across, and then any points that really came out, I just filed them down a little bit and got them smooth. I also fixed the winglets so they look pretty much the same now. So this guy kind of has a little curve up at the end, and this guy has a little curve up at the end. So I think they're pretty much mirrored now. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna lift it up and mock it up again so we can see how it looks, and then see if there's any other places we need to fix. So it should be mocked up back. So there we go, it is all mocked up. I am noticing a couple spots that I still need to fix, like right here it just comes out too far, but it looks so good. I remembered why I started building this in the first place. Remember how I bent that a while ago? Now I have to rebend it back out, or I'll probably just end up leaving it like that and the wind will force it. And then on this side it is pretty much the same thing, it's a little bit inwards. That's also because the inside's kind of bowing out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fix up these spots right here. Should only take me a couple minutes. And then I think we're almost ready to mount it. We won't be doing that today because there's no real rush. And you wanna know why there's no real rush? Well, pretty much last week's video, I talked about how it's like 0 degrees and raining. It's still 0 degrees and raining. We've had a whole week of this horrible, horrible fall weather. It's pretty much winter now. It's like, we've actually got snow last night too. It got below 0, so like -5, and we actually got some snow. And you know Project Daily has the R compound tires. These aren't good for anything above, I believe it's a pretty much 5 degrees and lower. They harden right up, and they're pretty much like hard plastic. You know the hard plastic they use on drift trikes? Well, that's essentially what those tires become. So they're not good, so I can't even drive it. I think we're supposed to be getting good weather later this week, so once I get it done I can drive it, but there's no real rush because there's no way I can drive it until we get a little bit warmer weather, and then hopefully we can drive it for a couple weeks before we have to put it away for the winter. There we go, I fixed it all up. It's all smoothened out now. As you can see, it is pretty good. There is some things like this side is actually about that much bigger than that side, but it's not really that big of a deal. And also when I move it around, it doesn't want to stay. I also put some more supports under it so I could push it right up against the lip just to make sure it looks good. One thing I did figure out though is the splitter rod, if I put it where I need to go on the bumper beam, which is right there, it actually doesn't contact the lip, or sorry, the splitter. So this straight on look isn't going to work. So what I'm thinking is either to go like this or to go like this. You guys let me know which one you guys like better. I'm thinking of going like this because it distributes the load better. But let me know what you guys think and which one looks better to you guys. So yeah, both sides would either be pointing inwards like this, or both sides would be pointing outwards like that. Either way, it's gonna work. It's just, I think my logic is that going like this is gonna put the points farther out and give us more support. But we'll be going through all the mounting and support next video, because what we're gonna have to do is I think what I'm gonna do is hot glue this to the mounts. Actually, just put some hot glue so this lip, or the splitter doesn't move. Don't know why I keep on calling it a lip. The splitter doesn't move. Then we take off the bumper, then we look and see how we're gonna mount it to the chassis. Because as I said before, this is a chassis mounted functional air splitter. The only thing I've been noticing, I've been looking into aero and stuff, and usually splitters are about that close to the ground just because that's how they work most effectively. And they say the higher you get, the less effective you get. So I think we're gonna end up doing probably not this fall, but next spring we'll actually be putting on, if you've seen, it's like you tape a piece of paper on and it'll show you how your arrow works. It's kind of like not using a wind tunnel, but you could still figure it out. And then you mount a camera, you see how it works, and then you can analyze and figure out if your arrow is actually doing anything, which I think this should help at least a little bit. It will smoothen out the airflow underneath the car, and then it will produce a low pressure system here and produce a little bit of downforce here. Anyways, that is going to be it for today. So hopefully the weather gets a little bit nicer so we can actually go take Project Daily for a drive. And hopefully tomorrow we'll be working and mounting the splitter so we get it all ready to go. So until next time, peace out and stay humble.